The dazzling 110-year-old National Theater in Prague provided an opulent backdrop for the skaters' draw last night, each competitor taking center stage to select their number in the skating order for each of the 4 disciplines. Canadian pairs champions Isabelle Brasseur and Lloyd Eisler took their turn and hope that number 14 is their lucky number for tonight's technical program. Since their silver medal in 1990, there have been gold medal expectations for Isabelle Brasseur and Lloyd Eisler. After Gordieva and Grinkov turned pro, everyone thought it was Isabelle and Lloyd's turn, but along came Natalia Mishkatunik and Artur Dmitriev, who won the next 2 world championships. Now they've gone pro, and again, everyone's looking at Brasseur and Eisler to win gold. But Barb, there's another Russian threat on the horizon.
That's right, Chris. Before arriving here in Prague, we had all but given the gold medal to Lloyd and Isabelle. However, after being here, watching the practices, I think we realized it's not going to be as easy as we thought. There are at least 4 or 5 teams that could win this event on any given night. And Paul, there's also a hometown favorite.
Well, Barb, it's always great to come to a competition like this where the crowd has something to really cheer about. Here, the Czechs in Prague have Kovarakova and Novotny, who are currently ranked #1 in the world. But their season has been suspect. They missed the podium at the European Championships. But before we get to them, we're getting ready to see our own Canadian team of Jodeyne Higgins and Sean Rice.
Jodeyne Higgins and Sean Rice, the young Canadians, are warming up, getting set for their World Championship debut. Before we see them, here's Gene Sepp with another judge's feature on the ordinals.
Chris, in the past, when we've explained the marking process, we've tried to emphasize that the marks awarded are simply the tools to determine the placements. However, it has been confusing to understand these placements if you haven't kept track of the marks and figured it out. This year, in our broadcast, we want to help simplify the process and take it one step further. In addition to displaying the marks awarded, we will also show you the placements that these marks determine. In skating, each judge's placement is called an ordinal. All judges' ordinals are considered to determine the current rank of each skater after they have skated. Keep in mind that these rankings will change as the competition progresses and as all skaters are placed in an order. Once we get to the free skating portion of the competition, we will show you both the free skate rank and the overall rank, which is the culmination of both the technical and the free programs. Again, this overall ranking is subject to change until all skaters have performed. Using a different free skate example, the last bit of information you need to know is that the overall ranking is based on a majority consensus. While all judges' ordinals are considered, you only need 5 out of 9 judges to place you first in order to win. The rest could place you 3rd, 4th, 8th, or 6th. It doesn't matter as long as the majority places you first. To help illustrate this, think back to the Barcelona Olympics, where Sylvie Frechette lost the gold medal because of an input error on the part of one judge. In that case, all the marks from all the judges were tallied to make a total, and so the input error did have a serious effect. In figure skating, however, only the placements would have been considered, and in that case, Sylvie would have won the gold medal because the majority of judges did place her first. In figure skating, it's not what one judge does that's important. In fact, it is the group truth or the group consensus that counts.
Next to skate, Jodeyne Higgins-Sean.
Well, Gene, Jodeyne Higgins and Sean Rice earned enough third-place ordinals in Hamilton to advance here to the World Championships. And quite a cheering section, including Elvis Stoico, helping them here in their World Championship debut. I'm not sure they expected to be here. 3rd in junior last year, the goal only to be in the top 6 at the Nationals, but they are indeed at their first Worlds.
And they're extremely excited to be here. After the Canadian Championships, I saw Sean backstage about an hour later. He was still in his skates, and he looked at me with this big, huge smile on his face, and he said, "My dreams are starting to come true." We're opening here with side-by-side double X's. Good unison. Now here is one of the nicest twists in the competition. Look at the height that they get on this move. Wow.
serious error there in the side-by-side spin. Sean had difficulty hitting the initial camel position, and the spin has never recovered and suffered throughout it.
That's very unusual to make a mistake on the spin. Usually it's on the side-by-side jump. I wonder if perhaps he just lost his concentration a little bit there.
Well, fortunately for them, the miss in the side-by-side spin can only be penalized about 0.2 for a deduction. So if they were to make a mistake, at least it was in an area where they can't be deducted too severely.
But the other thing that does put them at a disadvantage is the fact that they only perform side-by-side double Luxes. Here's a look at that humongous double twist. Great height, a little bit of a lean, but very solid.
And here's a look at their lift. A hip axle lift into a one-hand tabletop with a twist off the top to land. A little bit better extension on her landing free leg would have been nice, but for an initial performance at a world championship, very nice.
That's Coach Kerry Leach from the Preston Figure Skating Club. Jodeyne's 18 years of age from Stratford, Sean 20 from Oakville.
Well, it's too bad that they did have that small mistake because, as you mentioned, Barb, of the double Lutz in this program started with a lower base mark. The judges can't evaluate this program as though they were evaluating a team that did, say, side-by-side double axles. So that is going to hurt them somewhat.
Remember your first skate at Worlds?
I certainly do. I think I missed the jump, which is usually, as you mentioned, Barb, the thing most skaters mess up at their first world competition.
Yeah, I hear it.
There's a real mix of emotions at your first Worlds. You're excited, you're scared, you're just happy to be there more than anything.
And they may be happy with these marks, the technical marks, up to a 5.1 from the Swiss judge. Canadian judge Francis Defoe at 4.8. There's a 4.9. And the low marks 4.2. from the United States.
Like even the whole thing.
Kerry Leach just asked them how they both felt out there, and they both felt, he responded by saying they both felt really good out there.
And here are the artistic marks, and they're much higher, 5.2 from the Swiss judge. And of the 5 pairs that have skated so far, they have first place ordinals from all 9 judges. So all in all, despite the problem with the spin, pretty good start for Jodeyne Higgins and Sean Rice, the young Canadians.